Good evening. Welcome to the nightly taste of Mashiach. Continuing from last night, we mentioned last night how important it is, especially nowadays when people are concerned, perhaps more than ever, about where the future is headed, that we study the Rebbe's talks from 1991 and 1992, where the Rebbe told us where we are headed. And the Rebbe told us that the Geula with Mashiach Tzidkenu is imminent. We have to open our eyes. And every Shabbos and every talk those days was specifically about Mashiach and the Geula. The reality is that from the beginning of the Rebbe's leadership, the Rebbe spoke a great deal about the Geula and Mashiach, and in the first Maimer that the Rebbe said on Yud Shvat 1951 was all about the purpose of creation, that Hashem wanted a dwelling place down below in the lowest of the worlds, and that's what the seventh generation is all about. But as time progressed, the Rebbe's focus on Mashiach and Dira B'Tachtonim and the ultimate redemption intensified, especially in the last few years that we were able to hear the Rebbe speak. The Rebbe's focus was clearly very much, absolutely on the subject of Mashiach and the redemption. So when we learn Torah in general, we are taught that every day should be like it's new, and we're even taught that every day it should be new. So when we learn any part of Torah, we have to learn it with the passion and the enthusiasm that it's new. And it's like the first time we've heard it. Not only like the first time, but it is the first time, which is the higher level of learning something for the first time. And we also know that everything in the Torah is true. And all of the Rebbe's teachings are true. And Chassidus is called the truth of truths. So certainly all the Rebbe's talks and all the Rebbe's sichos, and especially the last sichos that the Rebbe spoke, is the focus of every chassid. And this is what we are studying today, the sicha of Parshas Va'era in the year 1992, 57-52. And yesterday we touched upon the name Elohim and Kel Shaddai that was revealed to the Avos, and Hashem says to Moshe, I revealed myself to the Avos, to the patriarchs, with not the divine name of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, not with the infinite name of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei of Hashem, but with the name Elohim, which is more limiting and more limited. And the Rebbe asks, why is the parsha called Va'era if Va'era refers to the Avos? And here we're talking about a different revelation that the Jewish people will get when the Torah will be given, which then they will receive the revelation of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, the divine name, which is the essential name of God. Later in the talk, the Rebbe actually speaks about how the essential name of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei will be even further revealed and even more essential when Mashiach comes. So we're learning, and for those who want to look in, if you have volume 51 of Sichos in English, it's the top of page 104. And for those who would like to look it up on the internet, go on to sie.org. That's the Sichos in English website. Look up the library. In the library, you'll find the series of books called Sichos in English, and it's volume 51, and it's the Farbrengen of Va'era, the 28th of Teves. There's another Sicha, as I mentioned yesterday, that took place that Shabbos in regards to the passing of the famous Shliach, Rabbi Moshe Hecht. But today we're learning the earlier Sicha, which deals with the Parsha. Continuing from yesterday. This, which we spoke about, that the Avos have something connected also to the essence of God's name is reflected in Avraham's command to Eliezer. Place your hand below my thigh. Even though the fusion of spirituality and material reality did not begin until the giving of the Torah, Avraham experienced a foretaste of this level. His bris milah, his circumcision, became transformed into an object of holiness on which an oath could be taken. So there is something which is connected already with the Avos to the essence of God. There is, however, a distinction. Through the giving of the Torah, unlimited godliness was drawn into the world. Thus, every Jew, through the performance of a mitzvah, draws godliness into the material environment in which the mitzvah was performed. In contrast, Avraham Avinu was able to draw godliness down merely into his own body and not into the world at large. So once the Jews got the Torah, they got the mitzvahs, and then they were able to bring the essence of God into the world. Avraham was able to bring somewhat of the essence into a limb of his body through the mitzvah of circumcision. Nevertheless, since Avraham's body was also a material entity, the fact that godliness was able to permeate it also reflects the revelation of an infinite potential. And that infinite potential is alluding to the Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, the divine essential name of God. It was not, however, until the giving of the Torah that it became possible for this potential to affect the world at large. So we see that it's true that the Bnei Yisrael, when the Torah was given, saw the revelation of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, the divine name. The Avos didn't. But yet there was something that the Avos received, specifically through the circumcision of Avraham Avinu, where there was a taste and a part and a potential of this very essence. From a different perspective, it can be explained that it was the service of the Avos which tapped the essence of the Jewish soul. Thus, Avraham is described as the first of the believers, and it was he who opened the channel of faith and self-sacrifice for the Jewish people of all subsequent generations. The giving of the Torah granted the potential for this essential quality possessed by the Jewish people to be revealed in the world at large. Through Torah study, this revelation is drawn down into the conscious powers of a Jew's soul, and through the observance of the mitzvahs, it is drawn down in his body and in the world at large. So we see that it's not black and white. It's not just that only the Bnei Yisrael at Matan Torah had a connection with the essence of the divine light. Even with the Avos, there was something where there was a connection to this potential, and certainly to the potential of the essence of every Jewish soul. The Rebbe is speaking about the concept of the connection of mitzvahs to atzmos, which is the very essence of God. And the Avos perhaps were not revealed formally the essence of God, but certainly some perspective and some potential of this essence of God was given to the Avos through the mitzvah of bris milah. There is an advantage to the revelation of the essence of the soul at the giving of the Torah, to the service of the patriarchs. For the fact that godliness is revealed throughout the world at large reveals its true, unbounded, and unlimited quality, that it has no limitations. And that was what was so unique about the giving of the Torah, because God's boundless potential became revealed. And before the giving of the Torah, the boundless potential of God was not revealed. Although the service of the others also tapped the essence, since their service was not revealed in the world at large, it was only in the body with the mitzvah of bris milah, its unlimited quality was not revealed. The quality of Ein Sof contained in the essence of God was not revealed in the world through the others. Conversely, on the other hand, the essence of the Jewish people after the giving of the Torah involves primarily the worldly sphere as it exists within its own context. In regards to the Avos, the opposite was true. The fundamental thrust of their service was spiritual. So, on the one hand, we look at the Avos, that they were so spiritual, they were called the Merkava, they were the chariot of God. And indeed, they obviously were very spiritual human beings. But at the same time, once the Torah was given, and we were given mitzvahs with physical objects, the whole world was transformed. And suddenly, even the most material objects had a potential for holiness through the mitzvahs. So there's something far greater because of the giving of the Torah, even than the revelations associated with the others. And the Rebbe will later explain, and we will continue this tomorrow, God willing, at 9 o'clock. The Rebbe will further explain that this level of atzmos, of the essence of God, that was revealed at Matan Torah, was still not the ultimate revelation of the essence of God. The ultimate revelation of the essence of God will take place with the revelation of Mashiach. And that revelation, the Rebbe told us, and the Rebbe said, that we should say to the world that there's a Navi, there is a prophet in our generation, and the prophet in our generation has told us that Mashiach is coming. So whoever is tuning in tonight, I can assure you that there is nothing to fear, not to worry about the future. Everyone should chill. No one should be angry. Angry is compared to serving idols. Nobody wants to serve idols. That's how Abraham took care of his father. He smashed his idols. So we have to be careful not to be angry. We also shouldn't be fearful. There's nothing to fear. Just Hashem is who we have to fear. And we have to realize that by putting our trust and faith in the words of the Rebbe, there's no question that we will see the manifestation of the prophecy of the Rebbe, the words of the Rebbe, the Torah of the Rebbe, that Hine, Mashiach ba, indeed, Mashiach is coming, and we will be Zoiche, we will merit very soon the complete redemption of the Jewish people. And tomorrow night's class, God willing, will take place in Yerushalayim with Mashiach right now. Everyone should have a good night.